I read a book that made me feel okay with believing that the Old Testament deity is a myth. Because the scholarship shows that they actually believed that the deity uh, had a physical body. And you even had rabbis arguing, arguing. Can you believe this? They were arguing over if Adam was circumcised when God made him, because he was made in the image of God. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Not only that, this book, this book dispels the myths, no pun intended, right? But the false things that we believe about what we're actually reading. Have you ever come across the story of Ruth and Boaz? Wonder why she laid at his feet. You know, long story short, it wasn't his feet. It was the genitalia. This problem is with the modern translations, they don't actually translate it without a bias. And so it's very important that we actually look to the scholarship, people who know the languages, who know the cultures in which the stories derived from. Francesca Stavrakopulou, thank you so much for writing this, because through your work, I have learned about the goddess Inanna, about Baal, about the way that their worship was conducted, um, just how the stories in the Hebrew Bible were shaped and formed by the Sumerians, and how the stuff that we come across in the Hebrew Bible, such as God's hand and his strength and him fighting like a warrior, um, and seeing his face and all of that stuff, we actually have good, good evidence to show that the idea of God not being physical was an evolution of thought. It's not from that time. It is not what they would have thought when they read those verses or when they taught those stories. They believed God was a physical being. And that is why Moses was able to see him. That is why Jacob could wrestle with him. That is why he could come and then he can fight and slay 100,000, 600,000 people. Um, man, I am so glad that I got this book. I could not put this book down. That's how engaging this book was. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you the table of contents because, man, here we go. After your introduction, you have Dissecting the Divine, Part 1, Feet and Legs. And then you have Part 2, Genitals. Part 3, Torso. Part 4, Arms and Hands. Part 5, Head. And then you have the epilogue. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but I am telling you that she references the Bible, the Sumerian myths. She references the theology, the mythology. She references the Babylonian Talmud, the Midrash or the Mishnah, whatever it is. She references all of that. This woman is a genius, and I'm so grateful for her work. A little bit about her. She is the professor of Hebrew Bible and ancient religion at the University of Exeter. And she wrote this fantastic book. She studied at Oxford. And if you have not read this book and you actually want to know the historical background of the Hebrew Bible, you want to uncover those passages that are just head scratchers. You can't really seem to get it, you know, and you want to really get the truth of what you're reading, get this book. It's called God in Anatomy by Francesca Stavrakopulou. Francesca Stavrakopulou. This book is worth it. Man, I'm so grateful that I got this book because I don't think I'll ever read the Hebrew Bible the same. I don't think you can. I think once you know, and she shows it from the Hebrew language, and you would think this would be dull and boring and just so heady. No, not at all. She is down to earth. She's witty. It's funny, and it's just great. Just absolutely great. Let's just do a one sentence joint. Let's just do a one sentence joint, okay? Let's go. Let's just do, and it has illustrations. Let's just do a one sentence joint. You see, let's see here. Man, this book is amazing. Okay, here we go. This blew my mind. So we'll read this because oh my days. Here we go. This is in chapter 14, Divine Touch. Just kind of random, but here we go. Now this is crazy. Appalled by the idea that God could contaminate himself with the impurity of a corpse, even the corpse of so holy a man as Moses, some Jewish and Christian translators corrected what they perceived to be an error in the text. Aren't they always doing that? Aren't they always correcting based on their preconceived bias? So the verse, it's like in Deuteronomy, says, he buried him simply became he was buried, or they buried him, leaving generations of readers like us to assume that mourning Israelites or weeping angels had performed Moses's mortuary rites rather than God himself. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? Fact is, in the Hebrew language, where it says that Moses, when he died, when God told him he would not go into the promised land, when God told Moses that, he said, you will not enter it. And he died right there, right? It says God buried him. I would never have gotten that from an English translation that says he was buried. If it was just him and God who buried him. But if you have this idea in your head that God is not a physical being, right? Then God can't bury, right? All this language, I think it comes from Origin more so, was it's anthropomorphic. But no, it's not. No, it's not just how God's speaking to us for us to understand him because we're human. No, that is a theological idea. That is not how the texts were believed or understood in their culture in which they were written. This book is amazing. Oh, oh my God. Please get you this book and support Francesca Stavrakopoulou's work because she probably got a lot of hate for this book. The fact that a woman is the chair at uh, at Exeter University over Hebrew and Bible. You know, that's that's a boys' club. She has a foundational work that just totally, oh, just, I don't know what else to say. I read this book maybe I finished it 3 days ago, and I'm still blown away by the concepts and how she breaks it down and shows scriptures and the rabbinic interpretation. That's very important. The rabbinic interpretation. It's just, oh man, I feel like I don't. This book will will make you question everything you ever thought you knew about what you're reading in that book, in that Bible. And that's important because we want the truth, and the truth will prevail. It looks like a big book that's just got a camera. It's kind of small. I mean, you see, like that, it's not super big, and you could probably find it for a really good price. Um, I think there's a paperback version also. It also has a different cover. I got this cover though, and man, yeah, she puts out another book, it's probably going to be a banger because this was really good. This is stuff that they will not teach you in Sunday school. They will not go over this at Bible study. You will not hear any of this from a pastor or a priest, but you will hear it from the scholars. This stuff has been known in scholarship for a long time, and she made it super accessible for us who do not know the languages. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, God in Anatomy by Francesca Stavrakopulou. Amazing. Amazing. I don't know what else to say about it other than buy it. That if you're only going to buy a few books this year, make that one of them because it's fantastic as a reference as well. And it's a good starter. Imagine just starting like, hey, did you know in the Hebrew where it says that Moses was buried? It actually says that God himself buried Moses. That's crazy. Think about it. That just shows how human, and that book showed me how human and how similar the God of the Hebrew Bible is to all the other gods in the same thing. He does the same thing, he acts the same way, and it shows. It shows. What a book. What a book, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Uh, Take care.